to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here. 444 Spearway. Oh, turn.
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time.
The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. I am spiritual medium Kellee White, and today, unfortunately, James cannot be with us today. He just found out that literally just now, as we were getting on for the show, that one of his best friends, Cindy Williams, died. And he just found that out. And unfortunately, I was the one that told him because his phone doesn't work. So he's very authentic, and he just was not in a space to do this show. So I'm going to do a little bit of astrology, and then we will definitely be back next week with this topic. But let me say hi to everybody. I'm really sorry that James isn't here. If you're just tuning in now, one of his closest friends, Cindy Williams, passed away, and he just loved Cindy. He loved Cindy. They were actually going to write a book together. I remember he brought her on and we did a FaceTime with her, and I just loved her. She was a 4 of clubs like me, but I just loved her. She was so authentic and kind, and he just adored her. She'd go to stay at her house or his house, and she'd go stay at his house, both. And they were really good friends. In fact, they had just spoken, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. So this really came as a shock to James. And he said, I just have to go, and he's going to try to reach out to her family. So I'm really sorry, everybody, that he's not here tonight. But hi, everybody. Thanks, Dorothy. We love to do our show. We're really always love to do our show every Monday. Hi, Sue. Hi, Trey. Hi, Benjamin. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Crystal. It will be a great topic that we will do next week, I promise, because both of us are so prepared for this topic. We love talking about preparing for the other side. It's preparing for life here that makes it challenging, right? We've had more. I actually even went to a Zoom funeral on Friday. I have family members that are in hospice right now. It's a really odd time, isn't it? So I think what I'm going to do is I do want to tell you about the astrology. Hi, Lori. Hi, Ardelia. Oh, and Ardelia, it is a very sad day too, because a good friend of our show, Wendy Connolly, passed away also, we found out today. And Wendy was an extraordinary teacher. She worked with neurodivergent children. She was a young mother. She was only, I think, early 40s, and has a 9-year-old son, and I think just adopted a 2-year-old baby. And it's just it was just really hard to hear that Wendy had passed suddenly too today. So very, very hard. Hi, Beth Glomsky. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm really sad for James. It's just been a hard day. I was really sad about Wendy's passing today. It really took me back. And I really want to thank Susie Burrows for letting me know about that, because it broke my heart. There's a lot of this going on. One of our dear friends, David Vigiano, lost his best friend on Friday as well. So he and I both were commiserating about going to funerals. It just seems an odd thing right now in the world. January and February traditionally bring out loss, seems. But I'm really sorry that James isn't here. He is really, I'm going to call him when we're done and help him with this. This is really hard. Yeah, everybody's just hearing about Cindy Williams. Yeah, he was really close with Cindy. And as I mentioned, she was a great actress, right, Maureen? She was a great actress. She brought so much joy to the planet. Just loved her. Hi, Holiday. We're here and we love you. Oh, that's my daughter. I love you too, Angel. So it's just a very rough time in our lives, it seems. So Kim says, so sorry, James Van Prague. Cindy Williams always made me smile as a kid, right? Did everybody watch her show with Penny? I forgot her name. I just based on her name too, but I loved her. I loved them both. It was just Cindy Williams and Laverne from Laverne and Shirley. Yes. Laverne and Shirley. That's correct. Really sad. Gosh, and she was only 75. That seems very young to me. But we're in an interesting period because this Thursday is Groundhog Day. And I think, why is she talking about Groundhog Day now? I'm going to tell you why, because it's a really interesting thing. I was just curious about it. I didn't know any meaning about Groundhog Day at all. And in fact, if anything, the only reason I was always, I don't know, thought about it since we moved was because of the weather. You know, if Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow, that he would be, we'd have 6 more weeks of winter. And I'm like, oh no, please God. But when I was in LA, I never thought about it. But now I think about it. So I started doing some investigation of Groundhog Day. And I thought it was kind of interesting because this is this Thursday on February 2nd. They say that if the groundhog comes out of its hole at the end of his hibernation, and if he sees his shadow, then it's 6 more weeks of winter. Okay, that's interesting. And also you can look at it as, remember the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, doing the same thing over and over and over. Well, Groundhog Day is a very interesting day because it's literally the midpoint between the winter solstice in December and the spring equinox in March. So, and it's a Celtic celebration actually for this day because it means that you're getting closer to spring. And so I thought, how interesting that Groundhog Day, if you think about it, it is about looking at one's shadow. Okay, so everybody has a shadow. What's a shadow? A shadow is, it was really made popular by Carl Jung, the psychoanalyst. He saw it as an uncivilized, kind of even primitive side of our nature. And everybody has a shadow side. Everybody has parts of ourselves that, act out or do things, or, we're not so proud of. So it might be during this period of time, you might want to look at your shadow side, because February 2nd of 2023 this year is an 11 day. And in numerology, an 11 day means insights into higher purposes. It's a very important day when it's an 11 day. So that makes this Thursday, this Groundhog Day, an important day. So you want to look at your own shadow, see what changes you can make. Or if not, you will be doing things over and over and over again. So you really want to look at it in a different way for Groundhog's Day. It's really important. And just for the record, a groundhog totem means exploring different states of your consciousness. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And from February 1st to February 15th, Saturn is exalted in Aquarius. And what does that mean? So when a planet is exalted, it means that it's at its highest vibration. And when it's at its highest vibration, it really works well with us. So this, from February 1st to February 15th, great time to plan and structure your life. Get really organized. Really look at your life and what do you want to accomplish this year, because this is a great time for that. And another thing I found really interesting too is that approximately Valentine's Day, so February 14th until March 11th, Venus is also exalted. And Venus is exalted in this time, it's in like romantic life and love, that kind of love. And really what comes out during romantic love, a lot of babies come out actually, because romantic love, you're really attracted, and babies are born a few months later. I think this is important because I go by seasons of everything. And I think it's important because right now we're in a season of loss, and I believe we're going to see a lot of people passing away, that just maybe can't take the next vibration up to this energy. So I think that February is going to be a really interesting girl. Christine Salisbury says, I'm sorry to hear this news. My heart is breaking today too, as I had to let my 13-year-old golden girl go yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. Isn't it hard? That's a tough one. That's a really hard one. They're all hard. I think loss is hard. It just is. It's part of the process of living. It's, there's a season for everything. And, it just always makes me sad. I don't like to lose people that I love. And I know that James doesn't either. We all, even though we know, we're very conscious about what goes on the other side. There's no such thing as death. When you lose someone, even with this consciousness, it's painful. It's hard. You think you want to go to the phone and call them. And we've all had those experiences, right? So, yeah, and James will be able to see this. And there's so many, right? Tricia says there's been so many passings this past few weeks, right? And Lori Sherberg says prayers to James and Cindy's family. I agree. In fact, James had just taken a picture out. He was just telling Renee and me, he just took a picture out of of Cindy with his sister Maura. So, I mean, literally, yeah. Renee's Hounsel. Hi, Renee, and thank you for your wonderful work on Saturday with our Lemuria and Atlantis. We'd love to see you. Thank you so much. So it turned out to be a really great event. She says, "Bless all of these souls returning home to the light." Exactly. So Beth Lansky Prescott says, "I just tuned in. What happened with James? What?" His dear friend Cindy Williams passed away, and unfortunately, I tried calling him an hour before this, but he didn't answer the phone because his phone was broken. And so he hopped online, and as we always start the show, and he hadn't heard, so I had to tell him what had happened. So he was too shook up to do the show. So we will be back next Monday to do the show with about this topic, about life before life, because it's a fascinating topic. And it's one of our favorite topics. Lizette Perez. Hi, Lizette. Congratulations on your move, Lizette. And yes, love to Wendy's family. There was a whole group of us that would get together in 2020. And and Wendy was one of them who just passed away. Sarah Stone, I'll be doing mini readings on my Thursday show. Ask Me Anything. So I will do that. Let's see. Sherry Kraft says, Kelly, I opened the drapes yesterday and I heard an elk. Can you tell me what this totem means? You know what? I don't know off the top of my head, Sherry, but I will put that together for our Thursday show and we'll talk about that. I think that's I'll make a note of that. Thank you. Ann Margaret says, in the energy on the Tyree police video, why it's being shown on every station. For me, Ann Margaret, it was, I got triggered. So his poor family, and seemed like such an amazing young man, actually. Awful. What's going on in this world? I don't know. A lot of chaos. Susie Burrows, really, thank you, Susie, for even telling me about Wendy. I really appreciated that. Trey says, sending my love, healing white light energy and thoughts to you both. I loved Laverne and Shirley. I know, right? Kathy Zadinek says, seems like many young people are leaving now. It is odd, Kathy. I know. It's a lot of people are leaving right now. So again, I'll just repeat this. James isn't here because one of his dearest friends, Cindy Williams, passed away, and he just found out as we were literally getting on. So he lost his very good friend, and they were very close. They were going to write a book together. I got to meet her. Really nice woman, super nice woman. But I will certainly pass on. Yeah, she had great comedic timing. Cindy Williams did. Oh, he's a mess right now, Heather. I would agree with that statement. Hi, Charlene. So really just send James lots. I know Judy Freeman, right? She said she's so sorry and saddened. Yeah, it's what a time period, right? What an oddball time period. Ugh, this is tough. So let's see. Yeah, Susie Everett says, January has been full of difficulties for me. My love of working with the cats at the shelter was taken away from you. You're kidding, Susie. Wow. Who would take away that? That doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry. Wow. Yeah, everybody, I'll definitely be talking to James as soon as I get off of this. And yeah, a lot of collective losses. Thank you. A lot. Yeah, she was a doll, Beth. I agree. So thanks. I really appreciate you guys, being on right now. But James and I will be back. Kim Ann says, Kelly, would the green comment have anything to do with so many going now? Kim, that's a great question. There were so many astrological aspects, right? So many in January. And I'm not sure. It could be green comet when that happened. It's all about opening the heart chakra. That's my take on it. Oh, right. I love Bill Murray's Groundhog Day too. One of my, oh yeah, that's right. So Beth says a young actress. So the original Wednesday Addams passed today, and she was actually 64. How do I know that? Because she was from Toluca Lake, where I grew up. I remember her very well. The actress that played, her name was Lori, I believe. She was something, and she passed away today. How weird is that? She passed away in Burbank, Charlene, if you're listening. It's just so bizarre. Yeah, a lot of people are just going over. Susie Everett, you see 1111 almost every day. That's your soul really waking up. So pay attention to those 1111s and think to yourself, what is it what choice do I need to make right now? Because it's a really good thing. Doors are opening. Let's see. Here we go. How do we read our shadow? Well, it's not reading our shadow. Our shadow is our behavior. Our shadow is something about us. Like here, I'll give you an example. Let's say you were this like church loving person and you always went to church. I don't know why I'm just saying that, but let's say you always went to church. But you had the secret habit of stealing things. I actually knew somebody like this. And the shadow is the stealing things. Okay. It's like, what is going on? You act one way, but there's a shadow there. Or that's just kind of, a shadow is something that maybe we don't like about ourselves, or something that it's like our wild side. It could just be even that. So that's a shadow, and it's been written about for years, and everybody has believe me, we're all human. Everybody has a shadow side. We just all have one. So let's see. Janice Scott Sterone says, I'm sorry for James in a shock of the news about his friend Cindy. I'm glad you were the one to share the shocking news to him. Oh, yes. I was so shocked. I was hoping he already knew. I'm like, oh, honey, I have something to tell you. Oh, God. So One Love says, I'm so sorry. So many people have passed away this year already. My grandmother's in the hospital, and my other grandma just got out of the hospital, but doesn't doing well. Pray for all of us. Well, we will do that. Oh, Maureen, Gail, she keeps saying, I don't know what the 613 is, but cardinals. I took a ton of pictures of cardinals today. And interesting, because cardinals represent people that we know that will come and visit. So today I took a picture of this bright red cardinal. Of course, it's easy to spot a cardinal when there's a snow, right? It's all white, and then this bright red bird is there. And I called my sister and I sent her a picture. I said, well, there's our dad. I'm like, what does that mean? Pam Collins says, I notice that people pass around the full moon. That's a really good observation, Pam. And I would agree with that. The next full moon is the 5th, and it's going to be in Cancer. I'm going to talk about it on Thursday. And I go by Vedic astrology, but it's going to be in Cancer in Vedic astrology. And this one is all about raising your consciousness, this full moon. So yes, Christy, I know you've had a lot of loss, honey. You lost your beloved daughter, and life can be really, really hard. Life here is not an easy place to be. This school that we go to, that we prepare for on the other side, we prepare so well. And even though we prepare, we still are going to have loss and sadness and grief. It's all about finding love and compassion. And so that's what Earth School is designed to do. So we can do all the planning, but you can't avoid certain things. You know, my dad used to say, you can't avoid death and taxes. And I used to go, oh, brother. But I think he was right. You just can't, so it's how we handle it, how we, anybody who's going through sadness and loss. That's why I wanted James not to do the show. Just go rest, go cry, go process, go call people. I mean, when you get a shock like that, you've got to just run through the situation of it. And he might play this out, and anybody might play it out many times. Talking to people helps. Everybody handles this moment differently. And we've all been there. So Claire O'Brien says, Christine, she had her 14-year-old terrier at the vet today, and we talked about end-of-life care for him. You have my sympathy. That's so hard, right? It's so hard. So Heather says, how long will this season of loss last? That's a great question. I don't know, honey. I don't know. I think this year is not going to be an easy one at all. Trey says, crazy. I don't believe in coincidences, but I just watched an episode of the Vern and Shirley yesterday out of the blue. And the theme song was on my way to work this weekend. Okay. Seriously, Trey, there's no way that this was a coincidence. No way. I mean, that's fascinating. That is so fascinating there, right? And Mary Jo, I did not know this. She said that Cindy Williams played Claire the Angel in Touched by an Angel. I did not know that. Oh my God. So Sue Murray says it's so hard because we love so deeply and we get homesick. We get really homesick. And we know they are going home and we know it's pure love on the other side. So true. It's all challenging. Just remember, we will always see our loved ones once we are on the other side. Once we're there, we will see our loved ones. We'll be together and we come in as soul groups, and there's so much love on that side. We will. Thanks, Beth. I'm glad I'm here too. Vicky says, it just sucks, Kelly. Sorry, but it is so painful. It's awful, Vicky. I know, because your husband just passed away and it's very difficult. She said, my heart goes out to James and it's very sad. She was a great actress. It's right on. It's hard. It's challenging. And when this happens, you really have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself when something like this happens. Renee said, I have 3 friends who recently suffered sickness. One suffered 2 brain bleeds and one had an open heart surgery today. A third one is having heart problems. What's going on? It's a great question, Renee. I think, again, these are challenging times. Really challenging times. This is not an easy time. So anyway, so I'm going to go call James. Yes. How to find my Thursday show. It's called Ask Me Anything on Thursday. It's on my, it's Kellee White Spiritual Medium YouTube channel. And it's also on Both Sides Now and Beyond Facebook page. And on my Spiritual Medium, Kellee White Facebook page too. And you can just go to kelleywhite.com and I think it all comes up. Laurel says, James took out a photo of Cindy and his sister before learning of Cindy's death. That's correct. What an amazing synchronicity and sign, right? Right? Totally. Rudy says, I saw a bald eagle the other day. What can that mean? So it's so funny that you would say that, Rudy, because we saw one too. And I just did a reading for a wonderful person that I work with, and we were talking about an eagle. So an eagle is really one of the highest totems that they are. It's really about watching over you and your spirituality. It really makes us look at our lives, the rareness of seeing an eagle, and the meaning behind it is all about raising your everything, raising your vibration, raising the way you think. It's really important. So Mary Snyder says, Kelly, I feel so bad for James. I just found out my great-great-nephew was killed in a bad auto accident on Saturday. Oh, Mary, that's awful. Awful. I'm so sorry. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving. I'm so sorry. It's so hard. It's just hard at any age here. Sue Wells said, too many famous people have passed. It's really true. Beth, how's my book coming? Thank you for asking. My editor and I are working hard on this, and hopefully it'll be out very soon. Not very soon, but in the next for a few months, I'll say. But as soon as it's out, Beth, I promise. Believe me, I'll be talking about it. Renee says, don't worry about the show tonight. Giving James the news is just as difficult. We love you. Go call James and catch your breath. I will, Renee. Thank you, everybody. And on that note, I'll see everybody Thursday. Next Monday, James and I will be back, and we will be talking about life before lives. Okay? So take care, my friends.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.